The story begins in 1950 inside a car factory where some cars are being prepared. One red car, in particular, is special and a mechanic is working on it. While checking the engine, the car's hood suddenly closes on its own, severely injuring his hand. He is immediately taken to the doctor. Then, another mechanic comes to check the car. While he is inside, his cigar ash falls onto the seat. Many hours pass, and the factory work finishes. Everyone is going home, but on his way out, the supervisor sees that the red car's lights are still on. As soon as he opens the car, the body of the cigar-smoking mechanic falls out. 28 years have now passed since this incident. We see a student named Dennis who arrives in his car at the house of another boy named Arnie. Arnie is a simple, studious boy. Dennis and Arnie are quite different from each other, but they quickly become good friends. Today is their first day of school. Arriving at school, they take out new books from their lockers. Just then, they notice a new girl named Lee, whose beauty has made all the boys at school crazy about her. Later, as Dennis and Arnie are returning home, Arnie suddenly spots a car outside a house and tells Dennis to stop immediately. When they go closer, they see it's a classic red car. This is the same car from the factory that we saw at the beginning of the story, but now it's in a completely dilapidated state. However, this doesn't bother Arnie, and he falls in love with the car instantly. Just then, the car's owner, George, comes and says the car's name is Christine, and it belonged to his brother who died a few weeks ago. George wants to get rid of this car as soon as possible, which is why he's willing to sell it for only $50. Dennis advises Arnie not to spend money on such a junk car and to get another one. But Arnie buys the car right away without a second thought. That evening when he returns home, he tells his parents about buying the car, for which his mother scolds him a lot. But Arnie doesn't listen to her because he bought the car with his saved money. Still, his mother insists that this car won't stay in the house, so Arnie takes the car with Dennis to a garage. There, they meet the garage owner, Will, who is a grumpy old man. Still, he allows Arnie to keep his car there. On the way, Dennis asks Arnie why he bought such a cheap and dilapidated car like Christine. To this, Arnie says that he didn't choose the car chose him. The next day, Dennis is waiting for Arnie during lunch. When Arnie doesn't show up for a long time, he goes to look for him. That's when he sees a bully named Buddy harassing Arnie. Dennis tries to intervene, so Buddy throws his lunch on the ground and pushes Arnie onto it. This makes poor Arnie's glasses fall off, so Buddy crushes and breaks them under his feet. After this, Buddy starts laughing at Arnie's condition, but then Dennis seizes the opportunity and attacks Buddy. But then Buddy's gang surrounds Dennis. Soon, a teacher arrives and stops the fight. Arnie then tells them that Buddy threatened him with a knife. The teacher asks Buddy to empty his pockets, and the same knife comes out. Finally, the teacher sends Buddy and his gang to the office, and Buddy is expelled from school. Many weeks pass in this way, and Arnie works day and night to fix the car. After this, the garage owner gives Arnie a job helping out in the garage, and in return, Arnie can collect some parts for his car. Arnie agrees and then gets busy fixing the car with all his heart. But he doesn't realize when he starts to feel an excessive attachment to Christine while fixing her. That evening, Dennis goes to meet Arnie because they haven't met for many days. But he sees that Arnie has changed a lot. He's walking around like a rowdy guy in stylish clothes without his glasses. He doesn't even stop to talk to Dennis for long and goes to work in the garage. His mother tries to stop him, but Arnie ignores her and leaves. Then, his mother tells Dennis that she is very worried about Arnie and his new car because they found out that the car's previous owner died of suffocation inside the car. Hearing this, Dennis goes to meet George, who tells him the story of his brother. He says that when his brother bought Christine, he became completely obsessed with her. His wife and daughter also lost their lives in this car, and after his brother's death, the car somehow started by itself and went to his house. The detective's report said that a ghost was responsible for the accidents and deaths in the car. Hearing all this, Dennis gets scared and runs to the garage to see the car. He tries to open the car, but as soon as he pulls the handle, the radio starts on its own, and Dennis gets scared and runs away. The next morning, Dennis is at the school stadium because it's their football match today. Dennis is thinking about scoring a special goal when he suddenly sees Arnie coming there. His car, Christine, looks brand new, which even surprises Buddy and his friends. Lee also gets out of the car and kisses Arnie in front of everyone. Seeing this, Dennis gets a little angry, and his attention is slightly diverted from the match. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the opposing players push him and snatch the ball. Dennis falls so hard on the ground that he immediately becomes unconscious and is seriously injured. Many days after this incident, Dennis opens his eyes and sees that he is in a hospital with a cast on his leg and neck. Then, Arnie comes to visit him. That's when Dennis realizes that his friend is changing too quickly. Just a month ago, he was a timid boy who listened to his family. Anyway, Arnie soon says goodbye and leaves. Then, that evening, he goes to the movie theater with Lee. and afterward, they start kissing each other in the car. But when things get heated, Lee suddenly gets out of the car. Arnie follows her, and Lee says that he loves this car more than her. Arnie finds her words very strange, but he somehow convinces Lee to get back into the car. But at the same time, the windshield suddenly fogs up, so Arnie gets out to check. Inside, Lee is about to eat something when the car's radio suddenly turns on by itself. At the same time, a very bright light comes from the dashboard, and Lee feels like she's choking. She can't breathe, so Arnie immediately runs to help her, but the car is locked from the inside. Arnie tries desperately to open the car from the outside, but it's no use. Lee is about to die from suffocation, but at the last moment, she manages to open the door from the inside, and a man standing nearby somehow pulls her out. Seeing this, Arnie gets angry and attacks him, but he was only trying to get the food stuck in Lee's throat out. Finally, things calm down, and Arnie drops Lee back home. Lee gets out of the car and goes into the house, saying that she doesn't want to talk to Arnie. Arnie tries to apologize, but it's imprinted in Lee's mind that this car tried to kill her. Moreover, she feels that Christine is jealous of her because something goes wrong whenever they are together in the car. Hearing all this, Arnie thinks Lee's mind has been affected, so he says they'll talk tomorrow. Then Arnie gets back into the car, but the car doesn't start. Then, talking to Christine, he says that what happened with Lee today doesn't matter because he will always love Christine just as much. After this, he turns the key, and the car starts immediately. Now he goes straight to the garage and leaves Christine there, returning home. But then, Buddy and his friends sneak into the garage behind him. They all have different kinds of weapons, and in no time, they completely destroy the car. Then, the next day, Arnie somehow convinces Lee, and they both come to the garage so Arnie can get his wallet from the car. But as soon as they enter, Arnie is shocked to see Christine completely destroyed. Lee asks in surprise who did this, but Arnie suddenly starts shouting at her for no reason and tells Lee to go away. Later, Arnie tells his parents about this, and they try to calm him down, saying they will get him a new car. But this makes Arnie even more angry because he knows that like Lee, his parents also hate Christine. Moreover, he blames his parents for Christine's condition because if they had allowed him to keep the car at home, she would be safe today. Then, he starts saying more bad things and tries to go to his room, but his father grabs him from behind and tells him to apologize to his mother. But Arnie keeps saying more and more bad things, so his father raises his hand at him. But Arnie also attacks back and quietly walks out of the house. He goes straight to Christine and decides to fix her again, piece by piece. But what he sees now makes the ground slip from under his feet. He sees that the car is miraculously fixing itself on its own. Arnie then happily asks the car what all it can do. The car fixes itself completely in a few moments, becoming as good as new. Then, in the middle of the night, we see a boy named Moochie, who is Buddy's gangster friend. He is stopping a truck in the middle of the road and robbing it. Just then, he hears the sound of a car engine in the distance. He goes a little closer and finds out that it's Christine, who is now standing in front of him completely new. He thinks Arnie must be in the car, so he understands that Arnie knows that he and Buddy destroyed Christine. Now he starts apologizing to Arnie, but suddenly the car's headlights turn on, and it starts moving fast toward Moochie. Moochie runs for his life and hides in an alley next to the road. He thinks the car will leave him alone now, but soon Christine is after him again. Now Moochie runs and enters an old warehouse, but Christine doesn't stop chasing him. Finally, Moochie gets stuck in a place where Christine corners him, and he has no way to escape. Moochie takes out his knife and threatens Arnie, but Christine forces her way inside and brutally crushes Moochie. The next morning, Arnie goes to meet Dennis and tells him about Moochie's death. Dennis is very surprised to hear this. He also doesn't understand how Christine, if she was completely destroyed, fixed herself. But Arnie doesn't give any answer and quietly leaves. Just then, Detective Jenkins comes to meet him and assures him that he is looking for the goons who attacked Christine and that Moochie's murder case is also with him. Arnie says that he doesn't know anything about Moochie's death but is very happy with the news. Hearing this, the detective becomes suspicious of him. He tells Arnie that his girlfriend gave a statement that the car fixed itself even after being completely destroyed. After hearing this, Arnie quietly walks away from there. Later, he calls Lee to meet, but Lee refuses, which makes him even more angry. On the other hand, Lee and her friend Dawn are driving with some alcohol. On the way, another car starts following them, so Buddy stops the car to see who is in this car. But he can't see anything because of the headlights. Then he reverses his car, and the other car also reverses in the same way, and then it is revealed that the car is none other than Christine. Now Buddy gets angry and speeds up the car, stopping only at a gas station where his friend Richie works. Then he comes out and picks up an iron rod and gets ready to teach them and following him a lesson. But just then, Christine comes at a very high speed and crashes straight into Buddy's car, causing a lot of damage to his car. Buddy thinks that Arnie is inside the car, so he tells Arnie to come out. but Christine crashes into Buddy's car once again and drives it straight into the workshop. Don is sitting in the car, so Christine crushes him along with Buddy's car. At the same time, gasoline starts leaking from Buddy's car, and it suddenly catches fire. In a few moments, there is a huge explosion in the whole garage, and Richie also dies in this fire. Seeing this, Buddy runs for his life, but Christine, on fire, starts chasing him again. Finally, she also crushes Buddy, and he is burned to ashes right there. A while later, Will at the garage hears the sound of a car arriving. He sees that Christine is wrapped in smoke. He is quite surprised because Arnie had gone to fix another car. Now he takes his gun and goes to see who is sitting inside Christine. He tries to open the door, but it is too hot, so he opens the door with the help of a cloth. When he sees that the car is completely empty, he doesn't understand anything. Then he himself sits in the car. But now he will have to pay for this mistake because Christine is not going to leave any witness alive today. Suddenly, she locks the door from the inside, and then she pushes Will's seat into the dashboard and kills him brutally. The next morning, when Arnie arrives at the garage, he sees that there are many police cars present. He meets Detective Jenkins there and finds out that the body of the garage owner Will has been found in Christine. To this, Arnie says that he doesn't know how all this happened, but his heart knows that Christine is behind it because she is once again standing in her place, shining brightly. On the other hand, Dennis returns home from the hospital, and Lee calls him and says she wants to meet him. Lee says that she feels that Christine has taken control of Arnie and now he is doing crazy things in his obsession with Christine. Dennis says that he is sure that Arnie cannot do anything wrong himself, but if Christine has taken over his mind, then it is very important to destroy her. After this, Lee returns home, but in a few moments, Arnie arrives there in Christine. He tells Dennis to come for a drive, so Dennis comes down. Arnie is once again behaving very strangely. Suddenly, he starts driving the car at a very high speed and then also leaves the steering wheel. Seeing this, Dennis gets very scared and says that Christine is not in his control. But Arnie strangely says that nothing can come between him and Christine. He has complete faith in Christine, and to prove his point, Arnie turns the car into the other lane at full speed. They barely avoid a collision with an oncoming car. Seeing his friend on the verge of madness, the next day Dennis carves a note on Christine's bonnet, inviting Arnie to meet him at the garage in the evening. In the evening, Dennis and Lee are waiting for him in the workshop, but Arnie doesn't come, so they both sit in a nearby excavator and bring it inside the workshop. They decide that Lee will stay in the office and close the gate as soon as Arnie gets there, and taking advantage of this opportunity, Lee will destroy Christine with the bulldozer. Soon, according to the plan, Lee goes into the office, but they don't know that Christine is hidden among the junk in the workshop itself. Then the car turns on its headlights and moves forward to crush Lee. Lee somehow saves her life by holding onto a dangling tire, but Christine doesn't give up and moves forward to attack her again. Just then, Dennis brings the excavator's claw in front of her so that no harm comes to Lee. After this, Christine backs away and goes to the other side of the workshop, while Dennis takes the excavator to the opposite side. Now both vehicles are facing each other, and it is revealed that Christine is no longer running alone. Arnie is helping her. He is now completely under the car's control. Suddenly, the car turns on its headlights and completely fixes itself in a few seconds. And the excavator also stopped working, after which Dennis starts trying to restart it. During this time, the car races toward the office to finish Lee forever. It breaks everything and moves toward Lee, but due to that huge collision, Arnie falls out, breaking the windshield. Lee goes forward to see him, but Arnie suddenly jumps up and scares her. Unfortunately, a large piece of the windshield glass has entered his body. Arnie tries to touch his beloved car in his last moments, but succumbing to his injuries, he dies in front of Christine. Lee immediately runs from there, but Christine, to take revenge, immediately puts the reverse gear on and tries to crush her, but at the last moment, Lee escapes, and the car collides with a pillar and gets stuck there. On the other hand, Dennis takes advantage of this opportunity and starts the excavator again and moves toward Christine. He hits the car with a huge collision, but the car is still trying to escape while facing him. Christine moves toward Lee again, but Dennis crushes her from behind with the excavator's claw. The power of that crazy car is slightly reduced by this attack. Lee quickly reaches Dennis in the excavator, but on the other hand, Christine has become active again and is busy fixing herself. And to destroy this evil power forever, Dennis starts the bulldozer and completely crushes Christine. She is still trying to escape, but this time she is completely destroyed. Their fight finally ends, and the next day, Dennis and Lee meet Detective Jenkins in the junkyard. There they see that Christine has been completely turned into a junk pile. In the end, all three of them leave, but then we see that a small piece of Christine starts moving on its own, which confirms that that demonic car was still alive.